Welcome back to another transcriber from Reddit. Today's topic comes from the subreddit exLutheran, posted by user weary_donut_3486. The post is a link post titled Luther High School at J.D. Vance Rally. The text below that title reads, students from Onalaska Luther High School attend a J.D. Vance rally as part of their history class on Thursday at Mid-City Steel in La Crosse. Saskia Hatvani, River Valley Media Group. Excerpt from La Crosse Tribune. And here we see a link to the lacrossetribune.com digital edition. Moving on over to the La Crosse Tribune, we see this article at the bottom of their front page headline, reading, Luther students shine under Vance's spotlight. This was written by Caden Perry. For more information, please reach out to journalist caden.perry@lee.net. The article reads as follows. Luther High School students received a first-hand civics lesson Thursday as they heard Vice President J.D. Vance speak in person, and their enthusiasm did not go unnoticed. The back four rows of the intimate political rally at Mid-City Steel in La Crosse were filled with senior students from the Onalaska Private School, courtesy of history teacher Matt Schiebel. For students like Gammon Hagedorn, it was a hands-on lesson in civic engagement and self-fulfilled education. Quote, it's good to learn about it for my future. What if he's running in the next election? I can vote for him and see him. That's pretty cool, end quote, Hagedorn said. Many of the students hit the same beats as other Republican ticket supporters in the audience, clapping at Vance's dramatic pauses and hooting for his policy promises. Vance gave a shout-out to the Luther High students, heralding his work in Washington as an effort to secure their generation's future. Quote, these kids are the future. We want to make sure that they have a prosperous American future to grow up in, end quote, Vance said. U.S. Representative Derek Van Orden also put a spotlight on the students in the crowd before any politician had the chance to take the stage. Quote, this is the generation that is going to save America, end quote, Van Orden shouted for the audience to hear. In an interview after the rally, Van Orden said it was good for the students to attend and learn about Republican policies as they approach voting age. Quote, they see the Republican Party as the party of freedom and prosperity, end quote, Van Orden said. Quote, this younger generation and millennials, I have a tremendous amount of confidence in them. They understand if they don't fight for their country, it's gone, end quote. Here ends the article. Going back to the first page, here we see to the right of the article a picture photo of the students attending the rally. Underneath that image, we see the caption, students from Onalaska Luther High School attend a J.D. Vance rally as part of their history class on Thursday at Mid-City Steel in La Crosse. Now, I know what many of you are probably thinking in regards to what these students will take away from it and what the history class is promoting, whether directly or indirectly, by encouraging quite possibly class credit, but either way, encouraging these students to attend this rally. I really hope for the sake of all the students there that they're being encouraged and given equal credit for going to rallies, for all political rallies across the spectrum, Republican, Democrat, everything in between. Given that it's a WELS school, we all know the likelihood of that. And also, I know it was for a history class. Again, quite possibly for class credit, extra credit, however the teacher decided that was going to work. Wouldn't it be funny if on the following day in their next history class, these students had to do a class presentation on what they learned, along with a follow-up Q&A. Because, as a teacher, it would be really interesting to see how much these students learned, what they took away, what they remembered from the rally. Having them answer questions from the class, criticism, whether super critical or not super critical, receiving criticism for what they're presenting on, especially if they're only presenting on talking points and not presenting on real world fallout and happenings from the policies that J.D. Vance has been endorsing and also is talking about possibly endorsing. Doing a critical history analysis of how accurate these talking points that J.D. Vance and Representative Van Orden, especially compared to past and similar policies. And also by wrapping it up, viewing the entire coverage from the rally, and then compare it to what's being displayed on TV, going the extra step of media analysis. What does either side focus on? Which analysis is most accurate as to what actually happened at the rally? And having been present at the rally, does that enforce your political bias? Or does that change where your bias is coming from? Me personally, I would see this as an enhancement and what general, critical, engaged, and informed adults would call informed civic engagement and understanding. Because then it would also include the misinformation and understanding the difference between talking points and policies. And understand how policies and talking points can combine to become empty promises that litter the road to America's future and put more money in the pockets of millionaires and billionaires, especially billionaires like Musk and Bezos. I doubt that the WELS would do that because the WELS does not have that kind of comprehensive education system. Thank you for watching/listening, and I will see you in the next one.